Two new, very important backstage news, rumors, and headlines are coming to my attention across my desk several minutes ago as concerns Vince McMahon being upset, raging at Byron Saxton. Vince McMahon upset over the Stone Cold podcast. New developing details coming in right now. All credit goes to the Wrestling Observer newsletter. Dave Meltzer, go check out the Wrestling Observer newsletter right now. Go subscribe to them. Go check out their content. Vince McMahon is reportedly furious at WWE announcer Byron Saxton, which I'm not a big fan of Saxton anyway, so whatever he gets, I could care less, over his commentary during last Monday's post-WrestleMania 31 Raw. According to Reddit user and former WWE Backstage worker, Mets fan forever, who has broke numerous stories in the past, the report notes that the rest of Raw after the angle at Brock Lesnar taking out Michael Cole was supposed to just be Saxton doing commentary, but as we saw, Jerry Lawler was sent out to assist. And thank God he did, because that show was just going to a train wreck after that. Lawler was in the building due to it being the night after WrestleMania. And Vince reportedly called Lawler to the gorilla position shortly before 10 p.m. and told him to go out and breathe life into Byron. Despite Lawler going out to help, Vince apparently thought Saxton didn't improve and stayed upset at him. That's the thing with Byron Saxton. I mean, there was a lot of pressure on him. I got to give the devil his due, even though I'm not a big fan of his. Just going out there on the fly, not knowing what to expect, not knowing what's going to happen. It can be kind of chaotic and kind of stressful. But Byron did the best what he could with the circumstances, but still it wasn't good enough. It wasn't up to par. And when you have when you get a chance, an opportunity like that to work on Monday Night Raw, you have to enhance yourself 110%. You got to go balls to the wall. The report also states that Vince reportedly ignored Saxton as soon as he returned backstage. After the angle with Lesnar, Cole was said to be in gorilla position also and tried coaching Saxton through the broadcast. There is no heat on Cole for not being able to fix things from backstage, as both Vince and Kevin Dunn reportedly feel that when Saxton was given a major opportunity, he did not grab the brass ring. As always, some of this report should be taken as a rumor unless we hear more. Dave Meltzer of the Wrestling Observer newsletter was asked by a fan on Twitter if Vince really was upset with Saxton, mentioning the Mets fan report, and Meltzer said Vince was. On a related note, both McMahon and Dunn are said to be very high on Renee Young right now, but they want to keep her doing backstage segments in the pre-shows for the time being. However, there is serious talk of bringing her to the Raw announce team sooner than later. And I know some people that might be met with some negativity. It may be met with some backlash. Right now, I think it is best to keep her backstage, but I would be, it's all about a chance. It's all about an opportunity. If she can grab the ball and roll with it better than Byron Saxton, then by all means, if it fits well, if it's the right time, if it's the right place, then more power to her for being in that position. Regarding the issues between Austin and McMahon, this is the latest developments. They are said to be related directly to Austin's live podcast on the WWE Network with Triple H that aired back in early February. Vince was apparently not happy with some of Austin's questions for Triple H, and while we don't have specifics yet, the Wrestling Observer newsletter speculates that it could be Austin asking Triple H about Chyna's induction into the Hall of Fame. Well, what did Vince and Triple H expect? That Austin was just going to throw some easy questions and it was going to be toddler hour with Austin on his podcast? You know that Stone Cold Steve Austin's going to, throw you the hard questions. He's going to be stiff with you. He ain't going to sugarcoat anything. That's what the Texas Rattlesnake Stone Cold Steve Austin represents, and that is what he's all about. So the fact that they were expecting anything less from Austin in a paradox, in a forum such like that, where everyone's watching and you're trying to boost up the subscriber rate, now that we got Chris Jericho's podcast, I'm sure it's going to be more company-oriented. I'm sure it's not going to be as intriguing or compelling as Stone Cold Steve Austin's podcast. And hey, listen, as far as Michael Cole being taken over by Byron Saxton, I don't think we're going to see that happen anytime soon. Once again, I'm not a big fan of Byron Saxton. I don't like his image. I don't like the way he talks. I don't like the way he goes over. I just don't like him as a person, but that doesn't mean he can't improve. That doesn't mean he can't impress. That doesn't mean that we can't expect big things from him in the future. I think it's just all too much, all too soon for him. So what I'm looking forward to right now, quite frankly, is your comments and your opinions. And please make sure to subscribe to the Wrestling Observer newsletter. And this is yet the fourth big major news story of the day. I provided two huge stories earlier on Brock Lesnar and Sheamus, and now these are two huge news stories on Vince McMahon being angry at Austin and Vince McMahon being angry at Byron Saxton, and Michael Cole even trying to, learn the ropes, trying to teach him a thing or two, but obviously it wasn't getting over. He wasn't responsive towards it, and now Byron Saxton, who knows if we'll ever see him on Monday Night Raw ever again after that horrible act. So, your comments, your opinions, subscribe.